Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Walters here, and today we're here in Pella, Iowa, one of the most Dutch cities you can find outside of the Netherlands. And it's in Iowa. Who knew? Anyway, what I want to talk about today is customer relationship management, and specifically the customer relationship management process. How do we come up with determining the best way to speak to people? When do we talk to them? When do we send them an email first, then a social media post, and then visit their store? Or do I visit them in person first, talk to them at a trade fair, and then try to sell to them? How do we deal with them? Because customer relationship management is extremely vital, as people really want to have more than just somebody I buy from. I want to have a relationship with them. And so by understanding our customers, understanding how they like to be communicated with, and understanding how they do business can help you speak to them better, okay? Because if you think about it, your friends, you understand your good friends better than people you barely know. And the fact that you know them and understand them makes your relationship better, okay? And so if we look at the first step in the customer relationship management process, we really have to segment and profile the market. And so what CRM segmentation really does, it's really based on how clients want to interact. Do they want to, a web presence? Are they just texting? I mean, I have students that are like, can I just text you, professor? I don't want to talk to you. If I could text you in class, that would be much better. I mean, if you have clients that want to do that, that might be the way. And you're going to look and see, because you might work in an area where, 5G isn't possible and super fast internet isn't possible. You might have to do everything by old school text messaging when you're writing them, talking about banking. I mean, M-banking is actually using the old 2.5 generation phones from back in the day. Yeah, those old Nokia 3210s and 3310s. You might do that, but we really need to start segmenting and profiling our market. Who are the people that like to interact via social media? Who are the people that like to have phone calls? Who are the people that like to have a combination of things? Who are the ones that will ask a question on Twitter and then call us up on our toll-free number and then book on our website? You want to build these profiles so you have an idea of what's the kind of information these people are looking for? What's the way that they're going to be reaching out to you? But also what kind of information they're going to be sharing, because as you build these profiles, it's going to be easier for you to relate to them because you're understanding them better, okay? So once we have kind of the segments and the profile set up, we moved into the second step. So if we look at it in terms of our communication strategy, we look at, how are multiple channels of our customer relationship management going to work? I mean, is it, what are we going to do in those trade shows? What are we going to do on the website? Because look at the profile, we see these people like to go through the website. Now we have to look at is how we're going to communicate on that website. How are we going to communicate at that trade show? What are we going to talk about? Is it we're going to a trade show and we're going to give, 20% off coupons to get them to come by? Are we going to give them free gifts because they might remember us because we gave them a pen? I mean, I know that sounds silly, but you have to think about it in terms of what is our communication strategy going to be? Like, what am I going to do in each of these things? So, for example, Professor Walters, my communication strategy. Well, when I look at it in terms of my segment, my profile, I have the college students that want to learn, and there's a profile they have for watching the videos for their exams. Then I have the entrepreneurs, and they like to watch specific entrepreneur videos. So what I'll do is I'll make a playlist for them. See, there's my communication strategy. Make a playlist that's just on YouTube entrepreneurs. We have a playlist for them because I see that that's what is going to work best, okay? So you have to come up with this communication strategy. And then the thing is talking about segmenting and profiling your customers and talking about what your communication strategy is going to be is one thing. When you move into the third step of the process, you have to look at implementation. How am I going to implement that? Who is going to make those social media posts, and who is going to be the one responding to social media? Who are the people that are going to be going to the trade fairs and stuff? How are we going to train our sales personnel in order to communicate with these people, how they want to communicate with them? Because think about it. How many of you have a favorite waitress or a favorite waiter or a favorite bartender, and you go there and you know that when you say, I need the usual, boom, they're hitting you up with that Jack and Ginger. You don't even have to say Jack and Ginger. They already know what you need, right? But then there's a new bartender there, you're like, oh, where's Rich? Where's Rich? I don't know if you can make that. I don't know how to communicate with you. Can I joke with you? It can be really, troublesome. That's why when you start looking at the implementation, you're really laying out like, hey, no matter who finds this person, what are the things that need to be done? We need to train them up so everybody can be the same kind of bartender at our bar, the same kind of salespeople that's reaching out to them. Because if you're used to dealing with one kind of person and now you're dealing with somebody else, that can get people to step back. and you don't want people to step back in your customer relationship management. Now, another thing that happens in your implementation phase is you really have to think of your start dates and your stop dates for doing things. When am I going to send out those mailers? When am I going to announce the trade fair? When am I going to announce the competition? When are we going to stop doing that? When do I stop saying, hey, you know what, we've got this deal for half price stuff? When does that stop? This is what you really kind of think about in your implementation. And then when you're implementing, you're actually doing it, okay? And so that leads into the fourth step in the CRM process, and that is evaluation. We have to continuously evaluate what we're doing, the views we're getting, the sales we're making, our brand image. How do people see us, okay? And there's lots of different metrics you can use, and we have a number of videos that go through the different metrics you can use to see if our customer relationship management is really paying off, because you got to be tracking certain things. Because sometimes it is sales, sometimes it's just the perception of our brand. Do they see us as being better, right? I mean, think about it. If you're starting to change from, oh, that's an okay product, to I like that product, right there, that's a huge win. But we got to think about, how do we evaluate that? How do we track that? What is the metric we need to use so we know if our customer relationship management strategy has been good or bad, and therefore when we evaluate it, we can see what worked, and then the next time when we start to re-evaluate our segments, re-evaluate our profiles and our communication strategy again, we can improve it for next time. All right, so I hope this gives you a basics of the CRM process, just to give you a rough idea of what's going on, because really you want to figure out who the customers are, figure out how to communicate with them, implement it, and then evaluate it. Pretty straightforward. I mean, this is for a very basic CRM class, so I just thought I'd give you this little bit of information to get you started on figuring out a better way to get relationships and build your customer relationship management database and how you reach out to customers. So I'll say bye from here in Pella, Iowa, and I'm going to go have myself some Dutch treats actually over there at Jarsma Bakery. That bakery right there has like amazing Dutch treats. Just letting you know if you're here. Bye.